Alright, welcome to part 5. So the box is up there, and in theory if everything goes right, we'll have a condenser unit outside today. But first step is we gotta go finish putting that conduit in from the inside to the outside. So we just have to pop this little thing out. Like that. And then put one of these guys in, like that. And then we'll go from there down to there. So I gotta go cut a little piece of conduit to fit that. All right, and we're close. I just gotta shave it right there. Maybe another 1/8 of an inch off of there. Let's go see if that works. All right, and that is that. It took 4 tries to get it to the right size. Interruptions along the way. All right. And now all we have to do is run these wires out. I'll snip them a little bit first and then run them out. All right, let's get this through. Okay, so what's happening here? Maybe it's hitting outside. I don't know, we'll see. This might be a 2-hand job. And it's through now. It was just getting stuck probably right on that thing. But I'll go pull the rest through outside. I guess I don't need to pull the rest through. It pulled itself through. All right, good. So now I'll get up there and attach those wires. All right. We should be able to push these the rest of the way through now. Great. Need a little loop in there. And that's ready to go. All right, and that is officially done. On to the outside. Okay, here we are outside, and we figured out a couple of things. So we have line and line, and then in theory these are load and load. So what that means is that this is coming from the breaker, and this is going to the condenser outside. And so when you put that thing in, it connects between the two. So it really technically doesn't matter because it's just making a connection, but we're gonna wire it right. So the red and the black are gonna be the line and the line. The green goes to this ground block. Sorry. Red and black, red and black. And then the green goes to this ground terminal. And then I'll knock this guy out here, and we'll put the pigtail in through here and connect those wires up to there and there. So the reason we don't need the white is because it's a 230 volt system, and you know, had I known I was going to do a 230 volt system and knew anything about 230 volt wiring, I wouldn't have ran that white. But now it's just an extra wire, so we'll cap that off with a wire nut in here in case somebody ever changes out the system and decides to go with a different something or other, which will probably be me. So we'll have the white wire in case we need it. Some of these have a heater on them, I guess, and then you'd need the white wire, the common. Anyway, a heating unit in the condenser. I don't know. Anyway, we don't need it, so we're just going to cut it off and cap it. So we'll get that done now. All right, and there we go. We got the lines hooked up, the ground's hooked up, and that white capped off. So now I'm gonna pop this guy out, put that pigtail in, and connect those up. And just like that, we got this in. These knockouts, man, they are in there hard. But in theory it's in there, so now all I gotta do is strip these wires and hook them up. All right, these are like 8-gauge wires or something. They must be universal for whatever they use here. They must use it for even their biggest units, because man, those are some serious wires. But I'll just connect them up here and then show you the finished product. All right, and there it is. So, by the way, part one of this, I was complaining about the connectors they used in their unit. And I was saying, why don't you just use the regular connectors like you do in a circuit box? Like these, in case the engineers don't know what I was talking about. Like these. You just stick the wire and clamp it down. Done. Anyway, I just got to put those plastic pieces back on and put this thing in, and we're good. All right, and that plastic piece just snaps back in there. And I can put that in like that. It's on, but I don't actually have the breaker even connected on the other end, so we're not going to electrocute ourselves. And that does lock. I don't think I need to lock it. So, all right. Now I think it's time to mount the brackets, maybe? All right, interestingly, that's where that's gonna go. And I think I need to put this like in between there. It's gonna flex down here, so I think I'm gonna have to have some kind of a cross piece behind the steel on the bottom here to make sure it doesn't flex. Like put a 2x6 backer in there somehow. But I think I have to make sure that my pigtail is going to reach over here. That's step one. Okay. Looks like that's going to reach anywhere I put it. So that's not an issue. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is just bite the bullet. Drill a hole right there. All the way through. Get a bolt and hang this. And then put the other one up out there. Try to get it level. And then we'll put this bottom cross brace in. We'll measure where that is so this steel isn't flexing. Put that in. And then we'll try to get the unit up there. May put a hole through the wall before I get that unit up there. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But step one is to drill a hole. All right, and just like that, I've defaced my building. I got a hole through there. That's the size bolt we're gonna need. I'm gonna have to run to the hardware store. And that's where it comes through. So I want it to be just about as long, just a little, it can be shorter than that. Yeah, because this has the, come here. That's about how thick the bracket is. So if our bolt is about as long as the non-threaded part of this one, maybe a little longer, will be good. We'll get a lock nut and a washer and we'll be lock nut and washer, and another washer for this side will be good. And you get 4 of those, so off to the hardware store. All right, we went to the hardware store, and all the way to the hardware store I was sweating because I forgot to measure the distance between the brackets, and I thought for sure I would have a bracket on one of these corrugated, you know, the out piece of the corrugated steel, but it looks like I'm gonna luck out there, so that was pretty lucky. So if you're measuring your brackets, make sure you measure there's 2 of them, especially when you don't have a level wall like me. You have to make sure that you don't have a bracket, you know, landing on one of these guys. Whew, dodged a bullet there. All right, and that's in there now. And so there's a couple things I got to do. Let me go around the inside here. Got this kind of finger tight up here. We'll tighten it in a little bit. When I put these up, the finished side is on the outside here. Not that that matters. I suppose you could have it either way you wanted. It just looks better, I think. So I'm going to leave this. And then what I think I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, so here's the back side of the condenser. And these feet are important because they actually have to fit perfectly. There's no horizontal adjustment, and so you have to get those brackets in there exactly perfect. There's no room for error. Let me show you the connection. So these little guys, these I presume somehow go on here or under here. They don't really tell you. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work. But in order to make sure I get exactly the right distance, I'm going to take this off of this styrofoam and use this styrofoam as a template for exactly where I need to get those brackets. Otherwise, I mean, if I'm just a 1/4 of an inch off, I won't be able to put the bolts through. So that kind of is not a cool situation. So I gotta figure out how this is gonna work. I don't know why these look like this. Looks like a revolver cylinder. Don't know, we'll figure that out. But step 1, I gotta get this thing off of this styrofoam, and I don't know how heavy that is. Check this out. Interestingly, the back side, or the front side, this will be facing out, does have an adjustment there, horizontally. So that's just weird. Not sure why one has an adjustment horizontal and one has it vertical. Strange. Yeah, and that should work out all right. Use this as a template. Kind of drill a hole and drop some nails or something through there. I know exactly where that's got to go. That should work. All right, so here's what I did. I just put a screw in each spot there. I know which way is front. So the idea is I can measure, mark, and then holding the other brace up there, I can lay this on and just quadruple check that everything is right, mark it and drill it. So we'll see if that works. All right, and the magic number is 26 1/4, believe it or not, but that's center to center. So I have to measure from the center of that hole up there and 26 1/4 over, get it level, and that'll be exciting. In case anybody's wondering, the reason this takes so long is because I'm also helping my kid fix a snowmobile when he needs help. And so you get interrupted 19 times an hour. All right, let's get this over 26 1/4. So 26 1/4 from there is right on the edge of that thing. So it's like right there. So what I'm gonna do is try to lay this out here and take another measurement and get level centered here. All right, after some dinking around here, this should be where it is. This is where I got to drill a hole. That's 26 1/4 to that bolt, and it should be level. This is where the top of the thing goes. And level up and down, you can see that's adjustable, so I'm not as worried about that as I am getting this 26.25 right. And you can see it's just a smidge below. Smidge is an official amount here. Smidge below this line of screws, and that's the same over here. They used a laser, so these are all in a perfectly straight line. So I know I'm about right there with relation to these screws and measured down. So measured and measured and measured. Now we just got to drill a hole. Well, this is unsettling and concerning. So my horizontal spacing appears to be perfect. So good I can put the bottom in. But this front to back is really tight. So I'm not sure that there's enough adjustment. I'm kind of concerned that I will get this up here and I won't be able to get bolts through those holes, and I'm gonna have to end up drilling through something. I'll have to drill through the back one because I can't really come forward anymore. And the only way I'll know that is after the unit is up, which is just a pain in the butt. I'm gonna go take a measurement from there to there on the unit the best I can to see what the minimum space is and see what it is. So we'll see what that looks like. So the inside to the inside, so if I were measuring it like there to there on the unit, is 13 3/8. So if I measure here, 13 3/8 is right there, which means that I need 2 bolt widths between 13 3/8 and the end of that in order to make it work. It is going to be extremely tight. All right, well, I'm just going to put this up, finish this part down here. All right, got it? Got it?
Yeah, but I don't want to anymore. Alright.
Okay. You can take the wrench off that one?
What do you mean?
Can you get the wrench off?
I can take it off. Yeah.
All right. I think we're good. All right, so those are up. Now I gotta drill the bottom holes here. Get those through and then reinforce on the inside. All right, so now these are the 2 holes I drilled through for the bottom. That's 53 1/4. So I'm just gonna get a 2x4, go across there, and then attach angle braces here and over there. And that should, distribute the inward pressure from this brace onto that 2x4 and then onto the verticals. So that's the plan. All right, and just like that, I've got a 53 1/4 inch 2x4, and I marked here 25 inches up, which is what this is from this thing. So when I get the 2x4 in, I want to center it right there so that this hole is coming right through the center of the 2x4. So I'll have to wedge that in there now. See if I can get that in. All right, and there that is. I just got to drill holes through there, put bolts in, and then I got to put angle braces here. And the purpose of that is to just keep the board from coming this way. It's wedged in there tight, but it needs something here. So I'll put those in. Well, I'll drill the holes and put the bolts in. All right, action shot. Those are the easiest things I'm going to do today. All right, now all I have to do is put bolts in. Those are being just a little stubborn. There we go. Going through the wood. All right. All right, got my helper here. Got it? All right, we'll do that one first. All right. Got it?
Yep.
All right. You can go to the next one. Got her?
I think so, yeah.
Got it?
Yep. That's a hard position to have on.
Let me know when you got it.
Alright.
Got her?
I think so. Wait, no. Alright, yep.
All right. That's good. By the way, this is cool. These are handy for that kind of work. These brushless little sockets. But this, anybody from Milwaukee, don't do that. This is how you switch it from one direction to the other, forward or back. If you're wearing gloves, there is no way to switch that. And it's cold here, so we're wearing gloves a lot. Hate that. Hate that. Hate that. This should be sticking out, guys. All right. Enough complaining. All right, let's get the angle brackets on. This is my bin of stuff, and I have these brackets. So they're going to go up against like that. I just need 2 little screws in here, and we're good to go. All right, and there we go. Technically, I don't have to put a screw in there, but I'm going to. Just this is all we needed. You can see that is tight up against the edge of this slot. And the same thing over here, tight up against the edge of that slot. And I'll just put a screw in there. Oh, just because. And then we'll call it good. So that's in place. And I think next we have a decision to make about whether we put the unit up or pop a hole through there. What do you think? I don't know. I gotta think about that. All right, we are fighting darkness, but we got this up. And let me tell you a couple things. There are these little black spacers. Right there. Right there. Not exactly sure how they're supposed to go in because there are no instructions on how they're supposed to go in. But we put them in the best we could. You see these are in the front. There's holes all the way around there. These are in the front because of the front hole, because of how they had to go in. These are in the center. It took 2 tries to get this on here. 3 people. So, what am I missing?
Not much.
But,
I mean, it likes to wiggle up. No, not anymore, I guess.
yeah, it's on there. Decent enough.
It's leaning.
And then, what do you mean leaning?
It's leaning forward because these ones go all the way down on top of the black thing. This side doesn't.
Okay, so
Well,
it's
that's
leaning
because
forward.
that's a design flaw by them.
I wonder if that's a design on purpose or if it's supposed to be level.
It's on purpose so that air can get to the back part.
Well, it would be if there's water drain or condensation. So we'll figure that out. I'll look and see if that matters front to back level. But the other thing is that this is going to be interestingly difficult to get to. Because I think there's a steel beam, a vertical beam right here, so I won't be able to come through. I have to come through like on this side and then snake it through. So it's really, really good that I put this up first before I started messing around with popping things through the wall, because that would have been a bad choice. So always put that up and then drill your holes. And my pigtail here does reach, so that's not going to be an issue. I just have to, I'll wait till it warms up tomorrow at noon, come out here and readjust that line to go behind it. I think it's safe for that to go behind it. I might have to secure that to the wall. I don't know. Figure that out. But this was the part I was worried about, was putting this outdoor unit up. And it's in place, but now I'm worried about this. So we'll see what that looks like and how I'm going to go through that wall. All right, time to interject so nobody does the same mistake I did. That bracket I installed wrong. There was no sheet telling you how to install it, and for whatever reason, I just assumed that, you know, if this is the bracket, this is the long leg, and this is the short leg, that the long leg goes down the wall, and the short leg goes out. It's the opposite. The short leg goes down the wall, and the long leg goes out. So I've got to flip that bracket around, and that's why nothing was working and why the bolts didn't fit and all that stuff. So anyway, one sheet of instructions would have been nice, Blue Ridge. It really would have been nice, but you know, I could have looked it up online, but seriously, one sheet of instructions. Anyway, back to the video. All right, so that's it for this one. This is why it takes me, you know, 5 days to do something, because there's nothing in there. There are no instructions with this, right? There are no instructions. So I got to take that all down. But that's the next video. And I hope everybody's learning from my mistakes. I hope it's worth it.